Story 1: The Phantom Ship. Our summer trip started with high spirits and clear skies. My friends and I had rented a yacht for a week-long adventure at sea, sailing through the turquoise waters of the Caribbean. We planned to visit remote islands, snorkel in pristine reefs, and enjoy the isolation away from the bustling world. On the third day, we encountered a heavy fog that seemed to swallow our yacht whole. The air grew cold, and visibility dropped to almost zero. We decided to drop anchor and wait for the fog to lift, gathering in the cabin for warmth and safety. As we sat, talking and laughing to keep our nerves at bay, a deep, resonant horn echoed through the fog. We exchanged puzzled glances, knowing there were no other ships in our vicinity. The horn sounded again, closer this time, followed by the ghostly outline of a massive ship materializing out of the mist. It was an old, weather-beaten vessel, its sails tattered and its hull covered in barnacles. The name Sea Phantom was barely legible on its stern. We watched in awe and fear as it silently drifted past us, no signs of life on board. Curiosity got the better of us, and we decided to investigate. We lowered our dinghy and rowed towards the ghost ship, our breaths visible in the unnaturally cold air. Climbing aboard, we found the deck eerily empty, the wood creaking under our weight. We split up to explore, armed with flashlights. The interior was even more chilling: rusted metal, rotting wood, and a pervasive sense of abandonment. In the captain's cabin, we discovered a logbook. The last entry was dated over a century ago, describing the crew's descent into madness and terror after encountering a mysterious fog. Suddenly, the ship shuddered, and we heard footsteps echoing through the corridors. My heart pounded as we regrouped on the deck, realizing we were not alone. Ghostly figures emerged from the shadows, their eyes empty voids, their faces twisted in eternal torment. "Leave," one of them hissed, pointing a skeletal finger towards the water. We didn't need to be told twice. We scrambled back to our dinghy and rowed frantically to our yacht, never looking back. As we reached safety, the Sea Phantom vanished into the fog, taking its restless spirits with it. We sailed away as soon as the fog lifted, the horror of that encounter forever etched in our minds. To this day, I can't shake the memory of those hollow eyes and the chilling command to leave. The sea holds many mysteries, and some are best left undiscovered. Story 2: The Lighthouse Keeper's Secret. Our group of friends had always been adventurous, so when we heard about an abandoned island with a lighthouse, we couldn't resist exploring it. We chartered a boat and set sail, the journey taking us far from any known shipping routes. The island was a small, rocky outcrop, with the lighthouse standing tall and imposing against the stormy sky. We docked and made our way to the lighthouse, the wind howling around us. The door creaked open, revealing a dusty interior filled with old furniture and remnants of a past life. We decided to spend the night, setting up our sleeping bags and lighting a fire in the old stove. As night fell, the wind's howl grew louder, and an eerie atmosphere settled over the lighthouse. We shared stories and laughed, trying to ignore the unsettling feeling. But as the hours passed, strange noises began to echo through the building. Footsteps, whispers, and the occasional bang. Unable to sleep, I decided to explore the lighthouse further. I climbed the spiral staircase, each step creaking under my weight. At the top, I found the keeper's room, filled with old books, maps, and a journal. Curiosity got the better of me, and I started reading the journal. It belonged to the last keeper, who had mysteriously vanished years ago. The entries detailed his growing paranoia, describing strange lights at sea and voices calling to him from the darkness. Suddenly, the temperature dropped, and I felt a presence behind me. I turned to see a ghostly figure, the lighthouse keeper, his eyes filled with sorrow and fear. "You shouldn't have come here," he whispered. "It's not safe." I stumbled back, my heart racing, and fled down the stairs. As I reached the bottom, the door slammed shut, and the whispers grew louder, filling the air with an overwhelming sense of dread. We huddled together, terrified, as the ghostly figure appeared before us. He raised a hand, pointing to the sea. "Leave, before it's too late." The next morning, we wasted no time packing up and leaving the island. As we sailed away, the lighthouse stood as a silent sentinel, its keeper's warning echoing in our minds. We never spoke of that night again, but the memory of those spectral whispers in the keeper's haunted eyes will stay with me forever. Story 3: The Island of Shadows. It was supposed to be the perfect summer holiday, crystal clear waters, sandy beaches, and a week of relaxation on a private island. My friends and I had pooled our money to rent the place, eager to escape the stress of everyday life. The first few days were idyllic, filled with swimming, sunbathing, and exploring the island. But on the fourth night, everything changed. As we sat around the bonfire, the wind picked up, and the sky darkened with storm clouds. Lightning flashed in the distance, casting eerie shadows across the beach. We decided to take shelter in the island's old, abandoned mansion. It was a grand, decaying structure, its windows boarded up and its once luxurious rooms now filled with dust and cobwebs. We settled in the grand hall, lighting candles to ward off the encroaching darkness. As the storm raged outside, strange noises began to echo through the mansion. Whispers, footsteps, and the distant sound of a piano playing a haunting melody. We tried to ignore it, convincing ourselves it was just the wind and our imaginations running wild. But the noises grew louder, more insistent. Doors creaked open and shut on their own, and shadows danced in the corners of our vision. We decided to investigate, splitting up to cover more ground. I paired up with my friend Alex, and we headed towards the library. The air grew colder as we entered the room, and the smell of mildew and decay was overpowering. We found an old diary on one of the shelves, belonging to the mansion's previous owner. The entries detailed a series of strange events, apparitions, unexplained noises, and a growing sense of dread. Suddenly, the door slammed shut, trapping us inside. The candles flickered, and we saw a shadowy figure standing in the corner, its eyes glowing with an unnatural light. "You shouldn't have come here," it hissed. We tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The figure moved closer, its presence filling the room with an overwhelming sense of fear. Alex and I backed away, our hearts pounding in our chests. Just as we thought we were doomed, the door burst open and our friends rushed in. The figure vanished, leaving us shaken and terrified. We decided to leave the mansion immediately, braving the storm to return to our tents on the beach. The next morning, we packed up and left the island. Our dream holiday turned into a nightmare. The memory of those haunting whispers and the shadowy figure will stay with me forever. A reminder that some places are best left undisturbed.